The moment Ethan Blackwood stepped out of his car, he felt something was wrong. The mansion gates stood wide open, the evening wind rushing through the gardens like a warning. Security guards were gathered near the entrance, whispering nervously. Inside the house, the usual silence of luxury had been replaced by chaos. And then he heard it. His daughter was laughing. Not the polite, forced little chuckle she gave to tutors or nannies. Not the empty sound she made to avoid concern. This was real laughter, pure, bright, alive. Ethan froze. For 3 years, since the day his wife died, that sound had almost disappeared from his home. He moved quickly toward the source of the sound, his expensive shoes striking the marble floor like thunder. The laughter led him to the service corridor near the laundry room, a place his daughter had never willingly entered. And what he saw there stopped his heart. His 6-year-old daughter, Lily, sat on the floor, smiling so hard her cheeks had turned pink. Her tiny hands were covered in soap bubbles. Beside her sat Maria, the cleaning lady, dressed in a faded uniform, her sleeves rolled up, helping Lily make bubble crowns from dish soap and water. Lily looked happier than Ethan had seen in years. And Maria looked terrified. The moment she noticed him, the color drained from her face. If you believe in kindness and second chances, take a moment to like this video, comment below, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories that stay with you. No one moved. The room became painfully silent. Ethan stared at the woman on the floor. Maria was new. He barely knew her name. She had been working at the mansion for less than 3 weeks. House staff had strict rules. No one was allowed to interact personally with Lily without approval. Yet here she was, holding his daughter's hand. His jaw tightened. Fear flashed across Maria's face. She quickly stood, nearly slipping on the wet floor. Her hands trembled. She knew what this looked like. A billionaire's daughter sitting on a dirty laundry room floor with the cleaning lady. A disaster. Maria lowered her head, expecting the worst. She needed this job desperately. Desperately was not even strong enough a word. Every morning before dawn, she traveled nearly 2 hours by bus from a small apartment on the edge of the city. Her son Matteo, 8 years old, stayed with an elderly neighbor while she worked. Matteo had a heart condition. His medication cost more than she earned in a month. Bills piled up like storms she couldn't escape. Rent. Medicine. Food. School fees. And now this. One mistake could destroy everything. Maria swallowed hard, unable to speak. But before Ethan could say a word, Lily ran to him. Her little arms wrapped around his leg. Her eyes sparkled. "Daddy, look!" Maria made magic bubbles. Ethan looked down at his daughter. She was glowing. Alive. Warm. Present. Not numb. Not distant. Not sad. He slowly looked back at Maria. She still couldn't lift her head. His voice came low and controlled. "What happened here?" Maria's hands clenched. She finally spoke. She explained that Lily had wandered into the service hall while crying. Maria found her sitting near the stairs, hugging her knees. She tried calling a nanny, but Lily begged her not to. So Maria stayed. She didn't ask questions. She simply sat beside her. At first Lily said nothing. Then she whispered something that broke Maria's heart. She said everyone in the house talked to her like she was fragile glass. Everyone acted careful. Perfect. Polished. But no one actually sat with her. No one got on the floor. No one got messy. No one laughed. Maria had listened quietly. Then she remembered something from her own childhood. When life became painful, her mother used soap bubbles to distract her. She said pain could be heavy, but joy could float. So Maria made bubbles. And Lily smiled. Then laughed. Then truly laughed. Silence returned. Ethan said nothing. But inside him, something cracked. Because Maria had unknowingly described him. He had buried himself in work after his wife, Claire, died in a car accident. He told himself he was providing. Protecting. Building security. But security was not love. Money was not presence. He had become a stranger inside his own home. Every toy money could buy sat untouched in Lily's room. Every private tutor failed. Every expensive therapist made little progress. And yet, a cleaning lady with soap bubbles had done what millions could not. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He sat alone in his office staring at an old photo. Claire. Smiling. Holding baby Lily. He remembered Claire's words. If anything ever happens to me, promise me Lily grows up with warmth, not wealth alone. He shut his eyes. He had failed. The next morning, he surprised everyone. Instead of firing Maria, he called her into his office. Maria entered trembling. Her heart pounded. She expected termination papers. Instead, Ethan asked a question. Why did you help her? Maria blinked. The answer came without thought. Because she looked lonely. Ethan stared. No calculation. No manipulation. No agenda. Just truth. Then he noticed something. Her hands. Rough. Cracked. Overworked. And beneath exhaustion, something familiar. Pain. He asked another question. Do you have children? Maria hesitated. Then nodded. One son. Who watches him while you work? My neighbor. Why not school? Maria went quiet. Too quiet. Ethan understood. Money. Always money. Eventually the truth came out. Mateo's condition. Medical bills. Debt. Exhaustion. Fear. Maria hated speaking about charity. Pride had been one of the few things poverty hadn't taken from her. But Ethan listened. Really listened. For perhaps the first time in years, he listened to another human being without checking his phone. That afternoon, something unexpected happened. Lily refused lunch unless Maria sat nearby. The staff panicked. Rules were rules. But Ethan interrupted. He allowed it. Days passed. Then weeks. Lily changed. She started smiling more. Sleeping better. Drawing again. One day she handed Ethan a crayon picture. It showed 3 figures. Her. Ethan. Maria. Above them, a bright sun. He stared at it. His chest tightened. That evening, Ethan made a decision. He asked Maria to become Lily's full-time caregiver. Not a servant. Not a maid. A companion. A trusted presence. The salary was triple. Medical insurance included. Flexible hours. Maria nearly cried. She accepted. For the first time in years, hope entered her life. Mateo received better treatment. Specialists reviewed his condition. Medicine became regular. His energy improved. He smiled more. Maria began breathing again. But not everyone liked the arrangement. Ethan's mother, Victoria Blackwood, hated it. Victoria believed class boundaries existed for a reason. She saw Maria as a threat. A poor woman getting too close to the family. Too close to influence. Too close to inheritance. One evening during dinner, Victoria made her opinion clear. She accused Maria of manipulating Lily to secure wealth. The words cut deep. Maria stood frozen. Humiliation burned through her. Ethan remained silent for several long seconds. Then something happened that shocked everyone. He stood, looked directly at his mother, and defended Maria. Firmly. He said Maria had given Lily more healing in 2 months than anyone else in 3 years. He said kindness was not measured by bank accounts. And for the first time in decades, Victoria had no answer. Maria left that night shaken. But something heavier followed. Guilt. She began questioning her place. Maybe Victoria was right. Maybe she didn't belong. Maybe the rich only tolerated kindness when it came from people like themselves. The next morning, Maria submitted a resignation letter. Her hands shook. She couldn't risk destroying Lily's family. Ethan read the letter. Then silently tore it in half. Maria stared. His voice was steady. You're not leaving because someone made you feel small. Tears filled her eyes. She lowered her head. Then Ethan said words neither expected. Lily needs you. He paused. Then softer. So do I. Maria looked up. Time stopped. The truth hit both of them at once. Somewhere between grief and healing. Walls had fallen. Not romantic fantasy. Not sudden passion. Something deeper. Trust. Understanding. 2 broken adults carrying invisible wounds. Months passed. Winter came. Then disaster struck. Matteo collapsed at school. Emergency surgery was needed. Immediately. Maria rushed to the hospital. The cost was impossible. Even with treatment support, a specialized procedure required more money than she could imagine. She broke. Completely. In the hospital corridor, Maria cried for the first time in years. Not quiet tears. Shattering sobs. Fear tore through her. She couldn't lose her son. She couldn't. Then a warm coat covered her shoulders. Ethan. He had come. Without hesitation. Without announcement. He handed documents to the surgeon. Everything was approved. Paid. Maria stared at him. Speechless. He had funded the surgery. All of it. She collapsed into tears. No words came. Only pain releasing. The surgery lasted 6 hours. The longest 6 hours of Maria's life. Ethan stayed. He cancelled meetings. Ignored calls. Sat beside her. When the surgeon finally emerged with a smile, Maria nearly collapsed from relief. Matteo would live. The surgery succeeded. Maria covered her face and cried. This time from gratitude. That night, Ethan stood outside the recovery room watching mother and son. Then he understood something terrifying. He had spent his entire life building empires. Buying companies. Winning negotiations. Controlling outcomes. But the moments that mattered most could never be purchased. They had to be felt. Lived. Shared. Weeks later, Lily organized something important. She insisted both Ethan and Maria come to the garden. When they arrived, Lily stood beside a small table covered with paper crowns. She wore one herself. Her smile was mischievous. She handed one crown to Ethan. One to Maria. Then she said something neither adult was prepared for. She said families were not always born. Sometimes they were built. With love. With kindness. With staying. Maria cried instantly. Ethan couldn't speak. Lily took both their hands. And placed them together. Small fingers forcing connection. No one pulled away. Before this story ends, I have a special request. Comment below with one word, kindness, if you believe a single act of compassion can change a life forever. 6 months later, Ethan held a press conference. Media expected a business announcement. Acquisition. Merger. Expansion. Instead, Ethan announced the launch of the Claire Foundation. Named after his late wife. Its mission was simple. Support single parents and children facing medical hardship. No parent should choose between medicine and food. No child should suffer because of poverty. The first board member he introduced stunned the room. Maria. The former cleaning lady. Cameras flashed wildly. Reporters whispered. Ethan ignored them. He only looked at Maria. She stood tall. No shame. No fear. Only strength. Because she had finally learned something important. Dignity does not come from status. It comes from heart. And then, 1 year after soap bubbles changed everything, Ethan and Maria returned to the laundry room. The same floor. The same corner. Lily sat between them laughing. Soap bubbles floated into the air. Sunlight caught them like tiny stars. Ethan watched one drift upward. Fragile. Beautiful. Temporary. Like life. And yet powerful enough to reflect light. He finally understood. Sometimes the people who save us don't arrive in luxury cars. Sometimes they arrive wearing worn shoes, carrying tired hands, and hearts full of compassion. The billionaire thought he rescued the cleaning lady. But the truth was far greater. She rescued them all. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps more meaningful stories reach people who may need hope today. And as bubbles floated toward the ceiling, Lily whispered the words that healed every broken part of them. Home. Not the mansion. Not the wealth. Not the status. Home was this. 3 hearts. 1 family. And love that changed everything forever.